It is a marathon tonight, not a sprint for these drivers, as the green flag unfurls over the field, and we are underway with the first 100-lapper of the season for the Sportsman.
Zach Clifton gets a good jump on Chase. He cannot quite clear him coming out of 2, but he gets down the backstretch and does clear him. Zach Clifton gets that top spot. You got Amber Lynn putting the heat on Chase Robertson. And James, don't forget, it's 100 long laps plus cone restarts, buddy.
So it's the Tommy Watson Construction Clifton Plumbing black number 81 that paces this field early. Then Robertson in second, Amber Lynn third, Michael Adams in the fourth position, and Sterling Plemons, who got into it with Tommy Neal last week and came back, stormed back, won the second race of the Sportsman doubleheader, rounding out the top 5.
That move over flag is just a courtesy flag. You do not have to listen to that. As we got trouble right there at the can opener, as you see, Justin Taylor spun it around, coming out of 4.
So Justin Taylor around T. Dawson, the other car that got clipped there trying to get around the 12 machine, and just, I think there was contact with the right rear. That, I think, tells a little bit more of a story now, doesn't it? And so they will have to boogie to get back around, as the leaders are already in turn 4. They're basically going to be racing before we go back to green flag action. So off we go with the News Talk 94.5 100 on lap 27. It's Zach Clifton there. Michael Adams, though, working the outside to try and get second away from Chase Robertson.
Chase Robertson's trying to keep that 19 on the outside, hung out there dry. You don't want that 19 to get clear and come down, because he will be a factor. But if he keeps him on the outside there and can't get on the bottom there, and Amber Lynn cannot get that inside line work, it looks like he's up high, can't get down. That's not good for Adams.
It's a testament to the strength of Adams' car that he's been able to maintain at least some track position up there, and it will be a net gain for him if he can get down in front of Amber Lynn. And Amber Lynn, I think, made contact with Michael Adams in the middle of 3 and 4 and got to his inside. So Amber Lynn now looking for third, and Sterling Plemons, who had that great comeback last week to get the win, trying to get to the inside of Adams as well, and he'll go on the grass to try and get the spot. The nose underneath Adams' machine, but Adams finally will get a spot in line and get to fourth. So net gain for Michael Adams in the end.
As they come around, Zach Clifton completes lap 37 of 100 right now. Track is still slick. Everybody's not wanting to really push the envelope yet, because you might find the wrong time to push it, and then your night's over. So right now, I believe Adams is really kind of calmed down, settled in. Plemons is behind him, not really putting the pressure on. But only 38 laps on the board right now. I'd say after lap 50, after halfway, you'll see the pressure go up.
We'll start seeing it, although you may see it from Chase Robertson now, who both knows that you've got plenty of laps to go here, but you don't think he wouldn't want the lead if he has the opportunity to. This is the defending champion of the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Series as well, and he is looking for the opportunity to get underneath Zach Clifton. It's the Tommy Watson Construction Clifton Plumbing Machine in the 81 versus the East Coast Wings and Grill Jerry Hunt Super Center 31 for the lead here at the Madhouse, and Chase Robertson is all over the rear bumper of Zach Clifton.
They just completed lap 41 of 100, and Chase is starting to see that Zach's running a little bit of a groove up, that Chase has got a good handling car that's a groove down from him. So if the door opens up, just one slip up Zach makes, he's going to take it. It looks like he's popping him up off the turn, which means I'm quicker. He's knocking on the door, James.
Right there by the north end zone area, the green flag is back out. Zach Clifton with a great jump, and Michael Adams goes straight to second. Great restart for Michael Adams, +2 positions for him. What a great job to choose the outside lane and get the track position for the number 19 car.
Michael Adams seen that opening, and he slams the door on Chase. Now he's bearing down the back bumper of Zach Clifton, with Chase bearing down the back bumper of Michael Adams. I told you before, it's going to be turned up right now on this restart, and you're seeing it live here on Flow.
Keeping an eye on Sterling Plemons in the 03, that all-black car just at the edge of the picture there. He is trapped on the outside. He's the only car trapped on the outside amongst the top 6 drivers. Zach Orr at his bottom as Clifton and company continue to parade this field, approaching the halfway point of the News Talk 94.5 100 for the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Division. Here we go. Cross flags as they hit the stripe. Zach Clifton, your leader at halfway.
We have made it to halfway, and the wick is turned up as Michael Adams is beating on the back bumper, coming off of 2 there on Zach Clifton with 50 laps to go. As he comes down the bottom, gives him a little love tap there. Chase Robertson does the same to Michael Adams. And they're saying it's time to go. We're halfway.
So that's a classic Bowman Gray thing I just noticed there, where Clifton got the tap from Adams, but checked up in the middle of the corner, waited to go to make sure that he wouldn't get uprooted out of that bottom lane by Adams. We'll see whether or not that holds, as you get a great look at the field rolling past the speed shot out of turn 4. Michael Adams now looking to the inside again, has a run down to the bottom. Clifton slams the door, maintains the spot for the moment. A little bit of contact in the center of the corner, and Michael Adams will work to the bottom again.
53 laps on the board. Adams goes to the bottom, and Zach slams the door again. You look there, he gets in the back of him. Zach's got a tight race car. He's one just a little bit up from the bottom. You got Michael Adams and Chase that's turning perfect in the center, and Michael Adams is popping him off the corner, which means he's faster. It's time to pick it up, Zach, or you might be going around.
Here comes Michael Adams to the bottom. He gets into Zach Clifton, and the leader spins in front of the field. And the call 8-1-1 before you did caution comes out once again, as Adams only had so much patience. And Zach Clifton goes around from the lead.
I told you it was past halfway, and Zach was dealing with a car that was real tight.
And Michael Adams will lead the field back to the stripe for the first time tonight. Green flag racing once again at the stadium.
Good start by Michael Adams as Chase Robertson sees the opening there in front of Amberlynn and gets in the second place. Amberlynn gives him a little love tap there. But Amberlynn, I believe, might be the dark horse here, James. She's been quiet, and she's worked her way up to third place with 40 to go.
Very consistently has Amberlynn held that track position all race long so far. We haven't talked about her much, I think. A lot of the focus has been on the battle for the lead, but worth noting she's there, and I think Sterling Plemons and Zach Orr just behind her, also worth noting that too. As we get set to go green flag racing one more time here. Lap 86 on the board. Michael Adams in control. And Amberlynn with a great drive to the bottom. Lynn gets to the back of Michael Adams and sends him up the racetrack a little bit.
Clemens gets sideways there. Looks like Zach Orr got into him coming into 2, coming down the back stretch. Amberlynn's moved up to second place. There's that dark horse, James.
First time Amberlynn's had the track position. Is her car handling better than Chase Robertson's? We'll see what kind of gap she can open up on Robertson and whether or not she can keep in touch with Adams, which is not something Robertson was able to do on the last few restarts.
Now, let me tell you here, we've got a little bit of history between the top 1 and 2 here. Now, let me tell you this also. Amberlynn, she's not running a full schedule. Michael Adams is running for the points. He's the points leader. There's some history there. She wants to win this race. He wants to win the race and the championship. Is she going to be a factor here, winding down with 10 laps to go?
Well, first she'll have to get to the rear bumper of Michael Adams, and you can see the gap already extending between Lynn and Robertson. So Robertson's car fading here late. Zach Orr now working over the rear bumper to try and get the third position away. But Lynn's been able to stay in touch with Michael Adams, hasn't been able to close the gap, and has been able to stay there.
Amberlynn is up just a little bit from the bottom, not handling it as well as Michael Adams, but I'm telling you, Michael Adams has got that one eye in the rearview mirror, one eye on the groove, and it's just going to take one slip up with 92 laps on the board. As you see, a good distance between him and her and Zach Orr. Zach Orr gets a little sideways there with a love tap from Chase Robertson.
Robertson trying to find a way back around Orr, but the handle is not there on the 31 car like it is with some of the other drivers. Michael Adams never has won this 100-lap Sportsman race, which is a crazy stat to think about when you consider how successful he's been in this division at this stadium. Amberlynn was winner of this race 2 years ago. So will the experience of getting to victory lane make the difference, or will we see one of the fastest Sportsman drivers in this division finally end up in Carolina Woodfloor's victory lane in a 100-lap race? 5 laps to go for the field.
5 laps to go, and I'm telling you, Amberlynn has been sitting there saving her stuff here for the battle of the ages. Amberlynn coming down the backstretch, coming into turn number 3. Nice smooth entry there and exit coming out of 4. Still a little bit of distance between her and Michael Adams, but with less than 5 to go, it's time to get up on the wheel.
If you have anything left to try and run down Michael Adams, this is the time, this is the place. 96 laps on the board, waiting for an opportunity is Amberlynn. Will Michael Adams slip up? Will there be any sort of challenge from Lynn to try and get this lead away from Adams? Working towards the final few laps of the race, and it's still Michael Adams in control.
Michael Adams will come back around with 1 lap to go. He's 1 groove up from the line that Amberlynn is running, so he's working with a little bit of a tight car, loose off. But right now he's still got the distance that he's wanting as he sees the white flag in his windshield.
White
Trouble
flag,
one.
caution. I believe Michael Adams gets in the fence and spins it around at the end of the race.
We got fluid on the track, James. It looks like T. Dawson that blew up earlier has blown another engine.
T. Dawson blows the engine. Michael Adams gets into the fluid, and I'm not sure if we got the white before the yellow.
Now the caution came out, which the white is withdraw. Now the question is here, was the caution out and then Michael spun? But not only that, Michael's got a bumper there. He's got to go in. He's got to clean that up. Let's see what the tower says. The issue that we've got here is the 19's got to get that bumper off. If he had a teammate out there, I guarantee he'd have him come up there and get, in which you might see a teammate come around and try to get off, which T. Dawson is trying to help him out. T. Dawson, look at this. Now that right there is showing respect. He sees that Michael Adams wrecked because of his misfortune, so he's trying to help him out, but it's, as you can see, it's tough. It's on there. Kudos to T. Dawson for trying that out.
That is one of the wildest examples of sportsmanship in racing I can remember in a long, long time. If you're the driver that almost or maybe did ruin somebody's race and you're like, okay, I need to try and help him out. Let's take a look at the replay. Michael Adams was in the fluid, and you can see Amber Lynn almost had an issue too. Zach Orr was far back enough to where he slowed down in time to see it, but Amber Lynn almost went around as well.
So no, once the surface is, and the black flag is being given to the points leader right now, and your race leader. The black flag has been given to him.
A mixed reaction from a lot of the folks at Bowman Gray for something that truly was circumstance. I think of Kyle Southern's wreck in the rain, lead the modified race with John Holloman a few weeks ago. Another great example where the rain came at the perfect time and just couldn't get it going. So now Adams is trying. Now, I think to
now he got a piece of it.
He got half of it.
He got a piece of it still.
He got half of it.
The black flag was shown to him. Now, traditionally, the black flag's been given to him. He's got to come in and serve that penalty or clean up the issue there. Now, traditionally, it's suggested 3 times he's given the black flag, and then you're stopped scoring. Traditionally. So we'll see what happens here.
And/or surely they would.
Black flag has been given to him again.
So second time.
And we're still working on the track, so we're not, you know,
it's not delaying procedures, right. So there's still time for him to try and figure out something if he can. But even with a half a bumper, I think you've got a potential safety hazard here. To your point, I don't think there's any way race control and the track officials would let him compete like that.
You know, he's been given a black flag. The flagman still has that flag in his hand. He's going to give it to him a 3rd time, and the 4th time around, traditionally, they stop scoring him.
So this is your 3rd black flag coming for Michael Adams.
And this is double points night, James. This is not good. He's going to stop it here on the front stretch. He's going to try to get in reverse and get it, but it still doesn't matter. You've been given the black flag. It's unfortunate. His night is done. Well,
night, maybe not, but chances for the win. Yes.
Such a hit with double points night.
And that's just bad luck. And he's had the opportunity to try and get the bumper off, and it just isn't coming. At this point, I don't know. I think he's tried about everything in the book to try and get there. And Michael Adams still has not come down pit road. So now he's seen the black flag 3 times.
And we do see the X flag in the flagman's hand. He will be shown that he will not be scored. He will not be scored. That means his night is done, no matter if he stays out there or not. Unfortunate for Michael Adams, the points leader here on double points night.
I have never seen anything like this at Bowman Gray, truly.
And T. Dawson, you got to think, he feels terrible about it. He was trying to help him out with that back bumper. The gentleman that had the misfortune that caused this, I mean, your heart breaks for him. Ooh. Let's see what happens. I think Zach Orr might owe her.
How nuts this could be to the end of a crazy finish. News Talk 94.5 Sportsman 102 laps to go. Amber Lynn on the gas, slides up in the corner and opens the door for Zach Orr, and Chase Robertson is there too.
Amber Lynn and Zach Orr coming down to the wire here. They'll see the white flag. This is not the same surface.
Can Amberlynn hang on? Will Zach Orr give the bumper in 1 and 2? Tried to get there, may get underneath, has an opportunity in 3 and 4 to chrome horn his way into Carolina Wood Floors victory lane. Gives the shot to Amberlynn, and Amberlynn is going to hold on ever so slightly and claim the 100 lapper. For the Sportsman division, Amberlynn wins the Newstalk 94.5 100.
I told you from the beginning, James Pike, she was the dark horse. She worked her way up quietly, and then she was there for the finish. Kudos to Zach Orr. Zach Orr and her has history. Going into turn 3, coming to the checkered, he could have easily repaid the favor. But kudos to Zach Orr. He's thinking points racing right there. It's double points night. He knew it would be probably heck for him the rest of the year if he had dumped her.